the finale. The last episode of a series that's supposed to be the final piece of a puzzle you've built with time, effort, support, all of these things. It's supposed to fulfill your heart and your hopes and your dreams. At least, that's what it's supposed to do. There aren't many times when a finale can ruin the entire show, but as with everything else in life, nothing is impossible. We've seen it with How I Met Your Mother. We've seen it with Dexter. Multiple times with Dexter, in fact. And of course, the classic, most infamous...
We appear to be missing a master of whisperers.
And it breaks my heart to say that we can now add the famous Stranger Things to this list. From one of the greatest season 1 in television history to this.
Cut the shit the fuck off.
Stranger Things season 5 was just kind of booty. I don't think it's wild to say that. You've never seen an ending so underwhelming and so disappointing that motherfuckers on the internet are creating theories talking about some conformity gate. The shit was so ass, people started getting delusional. If that isn't woke material, I don't know what is. We had no stakes in the show's history. Steve didn't die, Hopper didn't die, 11 might have died, no one knows. Mike's a bum. How the fuck is Max graduating even though she should be blind with no arms and legs? She didn't even go to school. Vecna? Vecna is the biggest fraud since Utah bitch ass. Jonathan and Nancy broke up. The Mind Flayer is a big bum. I'm done. I'm fucking done.
Subscribe, please.
They look like me.
We start out with military convoys driving through a gate to the Upside Down. My bro Chachino right here is getting interrogated by Dr. K. She discovers that the gate opening wasn't his fault, but these motherfuckers right here. The entire gang is in the back of Murray's truck. 11 gets a pep talk from Mike bitch ass, and we get a slow-mo walking scene with Elle, Hellboy, that one sister from that trash ass episode in season 2, and Murray. As they do this Baywatch shit, they get spotted by this military group who wants to take 11 down themselves. We cut to Henry and the kids at the dinner table, and they're doing some weird shit together, but in reality, they are being fed to Vecna's beating heart. This transitions us to the title card for the very last time. Thank God! This leads us to the church where Mr. Clark and Erica are holed up in, each of them respectfully feeling a little nauseous and nervous. They are interrupted by a horde of military trucks as the soldiers storm into the church, and Dr. K peeps the squawk truck over here. This is when we see Vicky and Max freaking out as the lights start flickering, but not to worry because it's just the Boo Boo Squad on the other side who are about to climb the radio tower. Boo Boo Squad number 2 are back at Hawkins' lab, and there's no way she's about to get into that water, right? That's some nasty shit right there. Hopper and 11 have another pep talk moment, and damn, that water's so old it killed the dinosaur. Kali prepares to join Elle in this voyage, and Hellboy waves goodbye. Now Mike and Will are resting up as Mike Wheeler decides to drop this bomb on us.
Still think we can be friends?
Friends? No thanks. Best friends.
Now I know that pissed some people off, but we ain't got much time to discuss that because they resume their climb to the top. Vicky and Max are still concerned, and how did Max get her vision back? How is she not dead, man? I can't believe it. Anyways, Vicky leaves to go get some grub, and Max starts walking again, but not for real because she's actually in Elle's mind with Kali and 11. The gang reach the top of the tower, and for some reason, Dookie starts falling from the sky. The falling Dookie adds a time limit to the girls finding Vecna, as all 3 of them spot Henry in Elle's mind. 11 touches his hand, which warps all 3 of them back to Henry's younger days, but unfortunately, the military pulls up on Max and Vicky during this, so Vicky is forced to hide Max and herself in the wall. It's 30 seconds to go time. Max asks for them to trust her as a large Dookie slams onto the tower, forcing the entire gang into a predicament. But Max knew what the deal was, and 11 finds Vecna with the kids launching his ass through the windows, setting all of the kids free. Steve almost flies off the radio tower, hanging on by a thread, and he gets saved. Classic. You really thought they had the balls to do that? Come on. Steve gets back onto the platform, and everyone starts embracing each other. The radio tower gang climb through the new planet, and the real battle has just begun, ladies and gentlemen. A pissed off Henry stares at an empty table as 11 begins to talk shit in the corner. This makes Mr. Creel a tad bit angry as Kali uses her visionary prowess to cast a Loki-type illusion of invisibility over Max and the others. Vecna uses his ult to look into 11's mind and discovers the real truth, and gets caught lacking as Kali almost drives a knife through his chest. Randomly, he becomes Nightcrawler and teleports away from them. The guys in the new world are brainstorming the kind of trouble they're about to run into as Johnny Boy and Steve have a little heart-to-heart. During this heart-to-heart, they stumble upon Vecna's new crib. We are now in the woods as Max and the others are hauled ass into the safe haven cave. My brethren Derek, however, is lagging behind, forcing the rest of them to stop. Elle and Kali somehow catch up to them, and all together they make their way to the cave. This is when we see Hopper, who spots some barrels and is jump scared by steam. This steam fills the entire room and sends Hopper into another hallucination of his dying daughter. We get it at this. We also see that Kali tells Elle that the only way to stop this cycle for good is for both of them to die as well. This is when Vecna starts rage baiting, causing him to start blasting at random, and my boy Hopper accidentally ends up turning Elle into Swiss cheese. In a state of panic, he breaks open the glass, causing Elle, Kali, and Max to all bamf out of the Upside Down. This sudden change causes Max to scream, alerting the military of her and Vicky's position. And Hopper was a little too hasty because he actually didn't shoot 11, and it was just another illusion from Henry. Who could have guessed that would happen? Holly and the others are freaking out instead of getting to the cave, which forces Holly into a leadership position, telling these little shits to basically lock the fuck in. We are now back with these three where Hopper wants the truth from 11. Will 11 spend $500 to take the easy way out tonight? We aren't sure, but what we do know is that Kali has now upped the cannon on Hopper, and he just pleads and pleads and pleads for Elle to keep hope in the future that she deserves. And if you ask me,
I say let it die. Let it die, let it die.
This conversation is interrupted by Murray and the military as they storm into Hawkins' lab. Holly and them have made their way to the cave except for one Mr. Derek, who is about to be yoinked by Vecna, who is booking it. Holy shit. Derek and Henry get into a game of tug of war, and how does this little dude keep winning these battles of strength? We are not sure. Is he Kryptonian? All of the kids end up making it just in time, and back at Vecna's cribbo, Walk 'em Down Wheeler gives Mike a gun, and Will starts doing classic Will shit, freaking out and seeing shit without anyone noticing until it's over. Will informs the others that Henry is still alive, and my boy Vecna is powering through the cave of misery and pain, sending waves of pain through anyone linked with the Upside Down. For some reason, Holly goes to investigate and sees that Henry is guns a-blazing, ladies and gentlemen. You've never seen a look of determination on a man who has yet to do anything impactful at all. The kids continue to evade Vecna as Will tries to stall him using the powers of his own. The raid on Hawkins' lab is still going down as the military is using sound waves to disrupt Kali and Elle like they're the Hulk or something. This is when Hopper makes the decision to abandon Kali and leave her in the dust Chachino as he and Elle try to escape. We cut to the kids running away as Henry power walks towards them. Hopper attempts to go back for Kali, but Burnface over here gets the drop on the both of them, and this dude is not playing.
I got you.
Holly and them find a hole inside of this Minecraft shaft and one by one begin to crawl through it. Holly arms herself as Kali and Hopper are getting belt to booty by Scarface. Kali is about to get executed as Murray Hail Marys this grenade at one of the helicopters, blowing up it and the entire half of this building in the process. 11 catches up to the both of them and sends the burn man to an early grave. Kali didn't catch a bullet to the head, just one to the stomach, and in classic Stranger Things fashion, an unimportant character that no one really cares about is the one to bite the bullet. While this is all going down, Nancy's group is marching forward towards Vecna's locale as Human Henry is now in the mine shaft where Holly and him are indulging in a 1v1. And it seems like Henry is going to win this but gets distracted by an old memory, as Elle realizes that she can jump onto the dookie blocks to reach the abyss in the new world. We get a montage of 11 and Hopper as little Henry catches his first body and yoinks homie's briefcase. And in this briefcase is a stone that lets the mind flayer into Henry's mind. And big reveal, ladies and gentlemen, Henry is being controlled by the mind flayer, but not really because Henry wanted to join him. This realization causes his new crib to wake up and become one with Vecna. And I gotta say, what a downgrade from the Shadow Mind Flayer. This fucking thing is scary, and I'm just not too impressed with the new one, but what are you gonna do? The gang tries to run away from the newly awakened Mind Flayer, but it traps them inside of its legs, until 11 chucks a rock at it, knocking it around, and here we go, the final battle. 11 jumps into the Mind Flayer's body and begins to run the fade on Vecna. As Vecna and Elle trade blows, Nancy starts blasting rounds into the Mind Flayer, buying time for the others to escape. She successfully gets its attention and it causes Vecna to lose balance, allowing 11 to sneak some hits in there. It seems to be the end of the road for Nancy, however, as the Mind Flayer closes in on her inside of this crevice. But of course, saved by the bell at the very last moment as Johnny Boy and Robin start roasting it alive. And listen, I know that the things from the Upside Down have a weakness to fire, but I just cannot believe that this puny ass fire damage is affecting this entity. But whatever, as the gang starts shooting this cosmic monster with flares, shotguns, flamethrowers, and spears, it weakens Vecna and the Mind Flayer enough to impale him with his own spikes. By the way, no Demogorgons, no demo dogs, no demo bats, no demo dick. Vecna launches one last attack towards L, but
I'm not afraid anymore.
wow. This shit is so ass. The gang keeps the pressure on, and that's it. Vecna and the Mind Flayer have lost. There is nothing else after this. These two bums are the biggest frauds in TV history. Holly and the rest of the kids get saved, and they all take a gander at Fraudna choking on his own blood. Joyce delivers the final blow as we get a montage of all of the trauma each of these characters have gone through. And that's all she wrote. No wonder the fans were going schizophrenic with the fake ending talking about some conformity gay. I would too. We still have an hour left in this episode. They ended him in half of the runtime. This is the worst villain ever. Other than killing unimportant characters each season that he didn't even kill most of the time, he didn't do anything. What did Vecna do? I don't even want to watch it anymore. Wrap this up quick. As all of them are celebrating, they get caught up by the military trying to catch 11. This is when she makes the sacrificing play of killing herself alongside closing the gate, and all of them cry out for her. Just close the gate, 11. I'm getting sick of you. 18 months later, Robin is still on the radio. Steve is coaching baseball. Somehow Max has made a full recovery. Well, we don't know how. All of them graduate. Again, we don't know how Max graduated. Johnny Boy is finally at NYU. Joyce and Hopper go on a date. They ditch a party to go play D&D. 11 might be alive. We don't know. And the new generation has begun their D&D journey as Mike looks on to the future, and that's it, man. Overall, not good. Vecna and the Mind Flayer were taken from these god-level beings to some of the biggest jobbers that I've ever seen in television history. Beating your main villain in half of the runtime of your finale is just hurtful, and it hurts to say that I think Stranger Things will only be remembered for how lackluster the finale was, and if I'm being honest, how lackluster the entire final season was. But nonetheless, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments what you think of Stranger Things Season 5 and what else you'd like me to talk about. I'll see you guys in the next video.